When it comes to money rules, all of us have them. We have to make sure that we do follow them though. That is where I see. So in today's video, we're gonna be looking at 10 money rules built to change your wealth according to Ramit Sethi. He is the author of I Can Teach You to Be Rich. And some of these I really wanna break down because I think some of them are kind of crazy extreme of it. So number one, setting aside 1 year of an emergency fund. That is right. Most financial experts, including Dave Ramsey, 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund, but he is saying set aside one entire year. So regularly, they said Americans spend about $73,000 in 2022, up 9% from the previous year. That means you should set aside $73,000 in an emergency fund, which is kind of crazy to think one entire year of an emergency fund. But overall, if something catastrophic does happen and you have that much available capital or cash to fall back on, that could be an absolute game changer. And having that accessibility and putting it into a high yield savings account, you could also see a pretty decent return. Overall, my personal preference, 3 to 6 months of that emergency fund, investing the rest above that. That way, even if it isn't a brokerage account, you do have the ability to get to it if, again, everything kind of goes sideways and you do need that money. Second rule he looks at is applying the rules of 10 and 20. This means saving 10% of your income, investing 20% of your income. This is a game changer, guys. If you have the ability to save and invest 30% of your income, it is kind of crazy. I know we talk about the 50-30-20 rule, which doesn't really seem to work anymore. But if you can set aside 30% of your income for that savings and that investing, leaving you the 70% of your income, which is what essentially you're going to work with, it can be an absolute game changer. Now, of course, most people cannot do this to that scale, but I really challenge you to go through and try to get to that point of having savings and investment that are automated, making sure that you are kind of setting those and forgetting them. He also goes in to say, 30% for discretionary, 20 for savings. Now, again, bumping it up a little bit, taking it to the 30% is really how you become rich and wealthy through that investment. Number 3, pay for large expenses in full. Now, again, me personally, some of these I agree with. So he suggests weddings or a house, paying large expenses in full. Again, most people cannot do this. I really do like the no debt policy for households that he has. But when you look at saving for a house, you might spend 5-10 years, depending on your income, to actually be able to buy a house, meaning you're paying 5 to 10 years of rent, depending where you are. Now, there are larger expenses that I agree 100% you need to pay for in full. This includes going on vacations, weddings, things of that nature. You need to pay for those in full without borrowing. I see a lot of people that come in and they're going to Disney. They borrow $15,000 for a week that they're going to spend in Disney, spending the next 5 to 7 years to pay back the Disney vacation they took because, again, they're financing it in its entirety. And essentially, you're just adding a big exponential cost to your budget itself, which is kind of crazy. Number 4, never question spending on books, appetizers, or charity. It is really the small things. When you look at the rules, if the rules are too stringent when it comes to your budget, when it comes to your finances, people aren't going to follow them. If you're worried about $2 here or $3 there, they talk about a coffee, they talk about a drink, really just kind of understanding how much you're putting into the discretionary spending. Don't second guess the little things and don't really miss out on life. Because again, if you're saving, let's say $7 to $10 because you didn't get an appetizer, you might look at the bigger picture. If you're going out to eat 3 to 5 times a week, maybe you have something else to really look at financially if you're not getting by. Now, of course, cost cutting is something that we definitely focus on. Make sure it is in the budget and really give yourself permission to spend. If it's a hobby, if it's buying gifts, again, keeping it within reason. If you have a hobby that's costing you $1,000 a month, and you make $4,000 a month, that's 25% of your income for your hobby. Again, have to be kind of realistic. Number 5 that he talks about, flying business class on flights longer than 4 hours. This is really, again, really a general rule. If you're looking to have a better seat on a plane, especially for those extended ones, you get more room, you get more comfort, you get more amenities, and really being able to get to your destination without just being a wreck, honestly, might make a big difference. And when you look at the price difference, and we did between like economy and business class, the price difference was not too huge. I'm talking 20, $30 for some of the flights. So depending on where you are and where you're traveling to, might be good to get there being a little bit more refreshed, a little bit more at ease, especially if you are going on vacation and it's going to be a much longer flight. Look at the price, compare them. Number 6, buy the best and keep it for as long as possible. This goes right back to the frugal aspect of things. When you think of frugal, frugal is not cheap. When you look at clothes, when you look at shoes, when you look at cars, buying something that you're going to have for an extended amount of time, even if you pay more for it, is really well worth it, guys. When I buy shoes, I do spend a little bit more, about $150 for a pair of shoes, but I keep those shoes 3 to 5 years. So even when you dollar cost average or average cost of it over 3 to 5 years, it's kind of crazy because I don't buy the cheap $30 shoes that I have to keep replacing. Same with clothes, I'll buy better quality, not only fit better, wear better, and also over the extended amount of time of washing and wearing, they last a lot longer, especially with cars, buying cars that are of value, but also maintaining the cars. A lot of people put the maintenance of vehicles really on the back burner where they might have a couple little problems. Well, a couple little problems can turn into much bigger things. Now, again, spending money on some of the frivolous things are good. Even if you're looking at resale, if you're going to different places, you can get some of your money back for quality clothes that you don't have to spend a ton on. Number 7, no limit on health and education. Now, of course, again, you have to kind of take this health, 100% agree with if you're utilizing it. So for a health factor, a lot of people will join the gym, they'll never go. I know people that have gym memberships right now that have never went to the gym that they've been paying for months or even years, which is kind of crazy. Now, education, that is another one. You have to really know where you're going and know what you're doing. So if you're buying a bunch of educational courses, is it going to advance you? Is it going to improve yourself to move up in your career, maybe go into a different sector, a different job? Investing in the health and overall your self-improvement doesn't have to be super expensive, especially when you're looking, in career advancement or looking to earn more money. Make sure that you're going out there. And I know as much people that hate student loans, but if it is the only method that you have to pay for your education, it will absolutely be worth it. Number 8, earn enough to work with only people you respect and like. That is right. This is where you have to reevaluate your friends. Unfortunately, for some of us, might even be the family. You have to be with people that have shared values, that respect you, that like you, and that are really looking to improve you overall as a human. When you look at your coworkers, when you look at a lot of people that they surveyed, there's a lot of people that do not or really bring a negative persona to you through conversation, always kind of second guessing. You need to be around people essentially that are happy. I have filled my life with people that are very supportive, very happy with the things that we do. And it is literally a life-changing event when you get people who are in your corner and do support the decisions you're making. Number 9, prioritizing time outside of the spreadsheets. That is right. When you look at your spending plan, if it's a budget, if it's a spending plan, whatever it is, you have to make sure that you take a break. You turn off the computer, you turn off the social media, the cell phones go on silent. You have to go outside and enjoy life, guys. A lot of people are going to spend an incredible amount of time at work, and that is really going to be their life. They get to the point of retirement, they don't even know their spouse, but also now they don't have, or they have a lot more time on their hands, and they have absolutely nothing to do with it because they have not developed and haven't built a life outside of the workplace itself. This is the reason why when you go out with friends, make sure you plan it at least every month or two to go out with your friends, go out with your neighbors, know the people that you're around. That way you can really be beneficial for your life. And the final one on this list, marrying the right person. The right person is the biggest financial decision that you will ever make. And unfortunately, it is the person you choose. When it comes to your siblings, you don't get to choose them. When it comes to your family, you don't get to choose them. Looking at the person you marry that you commit to the rest of your life, that is a choice. This is going to be your savings, your career, your retirement, what you eat, the structure of your family. Everything is going to be there, and making sure that that person aligns to the same goals that you have as an individual, again, will make an absolute game changer. So let me know which one of these 10 money rules really stick out, and I'll catch you in the next video.